Hi guys, Joanna here. Today I will be talking about 7 underrated vanilla fragrances that I think you should check out if you are a vanilla lover like me. I haven't heard anyone talking about the 7 fragrances that I'm going to talk about today, so I am very thrilled and excited to share it with you guys as I think they are all amazing and extremely underrated for what they are. And yeah, without further ado, let's get this video started. Starting off with the fragrance that inspired me to do this video, and this is called Majaina Sin by the Different Company. I recently received this perfume, and guys, I was kind of blown away. This was love at first sniff for me. Before receiving this perfume, I never heard anyone talking about it, so I wasn't sure what to expect because this fragrance is out in the market for quite some time now, and I was just so surprised that it was never talked about because this to me is divine. If you love warm, spicy kind of vanilla, you will definitely love Majaina Sin. This starts off quite citrusy and gingery because it has bitter orange, orange blossom, neroli, and ginger that actually lasts the entire wear, even though it's in the top notes. I find this fragrance extremely addictive. Like, I'm not going to consider it as a gourmand fragrance because it is quite sweet. A spicy vanilla latte, that's how it smells like to me. It is sweet, however, not too sweet. I am not going to consider this as a gourmand vanilla, but rather like a comforting and spicy vanilla. And what I mean by spicy is gingery and cinnamony. So having said that, yeah, it is really comforting and I love the kind of sweetness that is in here. I think it is the kind of vanilla that they use in here, along with the cocooning tonka bean, sensual amber, and slightly creamy sandalwood. It definitely smells like a spiced vanilla tea to me, and I love it. I wore this fragrance yesterday when we went to the biggest festival in Porto. And yeah, I think I smelled great. It matched the festivities. I absolutely love this spicy, sweet, vanilla tea kind of scent that I get from Majaina Sin. Longevity and projection. Under the heat, I think it was moderate, lasted me around 4 to 6 hours. However, I noticed that it lasted more on clothes. I have tried almost everything from the Different Company as I am now an affiliate with them. They sent me their discovery kit and so far I think Majaina Sin is my favorite. I highly recommend this fragrance if you love vanilla scents. Once again, Majaina Sin by the Different Company, and I find this fragrance feminine leaning. Next fragrance is something that is loved by many. However, it has been discontinued, and this is Atelier Cologne Vanille Insensee. I found an extremely similar perfume to Vanille Insensee by Atelier Cologne. And it is Granado's Baunilha y Açafrão. And guys, this is a cologne format. However, in my opinion, it feels like a perfume. This is like a fluffy version of Vanille Insensee. It smells like a citrusy, spiced vanilla that is quite addictive. I will say a little bit gourmand, however, not too much. It is also reminding me of my favorite perfume by Lodge, Empire Victor. However, this is like more citrusy, less sweet, and more comforting version of that. Having said that, this is a kind of beautiful, citrusy, sweet vanilla that will be perfect for like a healthcare settings because of its cologne concentration. This is very light and airy, very cocooning, and quite addictive as well. I included it in today's video because I think that this is such an underrated fragrance from Granado. And I actually picked up this perfume because one of you recommended it to me. You are absolutely right because it is so damn good. Now, this fragrance is not expensive at all, and I think if you live in Brazil, this will even cost you less than 50 euros. Since it's a cologne, it is not too expensive, very light and airy, vanilla, saffron, and sweet musk combo that to me smells absolutely amazing. The saffron that is in here is extremely light and airy to the point that you won't even think that this fragrance has saffron. It's very fluffy, sweet, citrusy vanilla that is really worth checking out, especially if you love Vanille Insensee. I think it will be redundant to own both. However, if you miss the chance to own Vanille Insensee by Atelier Cologne, I highly recommend you checking out Baunilha e Açafrão by Granado. Longevity and projection, I would say, are moderate. This one lasted me around 4 to 5 hours with soft projection. Once again, Baunilha e Açafrão by Granado, and I find this fragrance feminine leaning. All right, next fragrance is once again super underrated, and this is from the brand Sabe, Masson, and this is Vent de Vous. Now, this is not a new fragrance. This doesn't have any alcohol, by the way, so it actually turns white. Sabe Masson is known to be creating skin fragrances, okay? So having said that, their fragrances smells like skin. And if you love a sensual, almost like skin-like, warm, spicy, balsamic vanilla, then I highly recommend you checking out Vent de Vous. It opens up quite spicy because the cardamom is definitely heavy in the opening. However, as it dries down, it becomes spicier and balsamic because of the heavy combo of benzoin, tolu balsam, amber, labdanum, and opoponax. This is my kind of warm, spicy, balsamic vanilla because even though it is quite balsamic and a little bit resinous, it doesn't hurt my nose. And since it feels like it's a skin scent, it actually radiates as if my sweat smells like warm, spicy vanilla. And because of that, I find this fragrance quite unique because of its texture. To me, this is absolutely sexy. So I'm gonna categorize it as like a sexy, spicy, balsamic vanilla that I think is perfect for night outs or let's say date nights and slightly cooler weather kind of events or situations. I haven't heard anyone talking about this fragrance and I think it smells absolutely amazing. So if the sound of a sensual, warm, spicy, balsamic vanilla sounds interesting to you, I highly recommend you checking out Vent de Vous. Longevity and projection, I will say, are moderate. I feel like it lasts longer on skin. However, the projection is quite soft. So if you are the type who's mindful of the sillage of your fragrance, however you want to smell like sexy, sensual vanilla, then I highly recommend you Vent de Vous by Sabe Masson. I find this fragrance feminine leaning. All right, next fragrance is from Lush, and I think this is so underrated, and this is called Mr.Wallet. Now, this is a body spray, and I just want to let you know that I don't like the spray of this because, yeah, it is giving a room spray vibes, and to be honest, I feel like every time I spray it on me, I feel like there's an explosion of liquid on my body. Yeah, the spraying experience is not very ideal. However, the scent though is beautiful. This to me smells like a peppermint vanilla ice cream. Yep, that's how it smells like. So having said that, yes, it is quite gourmandish and addictive as well. This definitely starts off quite minty because of the peppermint note. However, that minty feel doesn't really last long. So if it opens up as like a peppermint vanilla ice cream, it dries down into like a vanilla ice cream that to me is addictive. I have reviewed this fragrance and told you guys how much I love it. I discovered this fragrance when I visited a Lush booth when I was in Italy, and the staff recommended this fragrance to me. I asked her what's her favorite, and she told me about this fragrance. And guess what? It is lovely, definitely addictive and gourmand. So if you are looking for a nice vanilla scent from Lush, then I highly recommend you Mr.Wallet. This is such a comfort scent to me. Highly recommend it if the sound of a peppermint vanilla ice cream sounds interesting to you. Once again, Mr.Wallet by Lush, and I find this fragrance feminine leaning. Next up is Utopia by TUMI, and this one is definitely underrated. It is such a beautiful, everyday kind of vanilla. This fragrance is also heavy in creamy sandalwood and salted tonka. So it has that cocooning and creamy texture that I am definitely vibing with. If you watch my channel, I love anything creamy, cocooning, woody kind of vanilla. And Utopia is giving me that feel and vibes. This is a kind of vanilla that will be perfect as an everyday fragrance, for example. It will be perfect as well for gifting because it is very, very likable. I cannot imagine anyone disliking this fragrance. It smells very feminine and I will say quite classy. Such an underrated, creamy, woody vanilla that you should check out if you love creamy sandalwood and woody vanillas like me. When it comes to longevity and projection, this actually performs quite really well. It lasts me around 5 to 7 hours and it stays longer on clothes. Once again, Utopia by TUMI, and this fragrance is actually fairly priced. SO-AVANT-GARDE carries TUMI, and as far as I know, this could go on sale a lot. So yeah, check it out from SO-AVANT-GARDE. It is an affordable, creamy, woody vanilla that I think a lot of you will love. Next up is Orris Vanille by Banana Republic. Now, this to me is a signature scent worthy kind of vanilla. As the name suggests, this has heavy orris and vanilla with uplifting juniper and pepper. I love that it has an uplifting citrusy opening, and then as it dries down, the orris and incense come out, giving this fragrance sophisticated vibe that I am loving. You know what? I haven't worn this fragrance for quite some time now, and since I took it out for this video, I'm gonna put it on my summer perfume tray. Even though it's not like a summery kind of perfume, I feel like I need to wear this fragrance more because this is definitely like my kind of everyday scent. A very sophisticated, citrusy, and incensey, musky vanilla that I think will be perfect as a signature scent. I have tried a lot of perfumes from Banana Republic, and I think Orris Vanille is like one of the best. Highly, highly recommend it because it is extremely likable as well. I think, of course, you wouldn't like it if you are not into vanilla scents. And I'm gonna categorize this fragrance as an uplifting woody vanilla. So having said that, not really creamy as Utopia. And yeah, very sophisticated vanilla scent that is perfect for everyday use. Highly recommend it once again. Orris Vanille by Banana Republic. and I find this fragrance unisex. Last but not the least is another super underrated vanilla scent that I am not gatekeeping. Astratto by Bois 1920. Now, this fragrance is extremely complex and niche. I think it's either you love it or hate it, but this has a special place in my perfume collection. Imagine Bianco Latte with a rum-infused milk chocolate. Then, yeah, that's how Astratto smells like. Very complex and unique. I love it. Now, if you are not into boozy scents, then I think you won't like this fragrance because it is extremely boozy, especially the opening. However, as it rises down, the booziness goes down while the caramel, vanilla, and musk take over. Love this fragrance. It is definitely not a dupe of Bianco Latte, okay? This is not a new fragrance. This has been on my shelf for quite some time. I discovered this fragrance in Essence even though it's not new. And yeah, I think it's just so underrated. The note breakdown actually has a lot of fruits like pineapple, raspberry, and peach. But to be honest, I don't find this fragrance fruity at all. This to me is mainly caramel, vanilla, rum, greenness coming from Davana, and there's something as well quite smoky in it. It definitely smells like a rum or like liquor infused milk chocolate. I absolutely love it. I want to know actually if any one of you have tried this fragrance because I never heard anyone talking about this fragrance yet. Having said that, guys, I absolutely recommend this fragrance, Astratto by Bois 1920, if you want to smell like a rum infused caramel and milk chocolate. Absolutely stunning, definitely for boozy vanilla lovers out there. And I find this fragrance, by the way, unisex. So that is the video for today, guys. Those are 7 underrated vanilla fragrances that I think you should check out. Of course, if you are into vanilla fragrances, let me know what you think of them and if you have any underrated vanilla perfumes in your collection. Let us know in the comments down below. Once again, thank you all so much for watching and see you on my next one. Bye!